best start since 2016. Seminoles took care of the Tar Heels on this court Friday night. Duke lost in 4 to Miami. We are underway. Duke in the white, and of course it is Florida State on the other side of the net. A little off speed from Keefe. She now puts up the set. Out of the middle, you'll see a lot of them middle attacking today. Rothman puts it down, good dig out of the back row by Bryant. And that swing goes out, point Florida State. Gracie Johnson is one of the most lethal players in the ACC, and misses on her first swing.
We're going to look to see them set Gracie Johnson a lot. Coach said she's the type of player that every single coach would like to have.
Rothman serving. Seminoles happy to have her back in the lineup after missing several matches. She had a double-double on Friday. Out of the back row, that was Richardson attacking and found the perfect spot in the Seminole defense.
Gotta appreciate Duke setting up the back row right off the bat. That holds the opposing blockers accountable, makes them wait on the ball, and keeps them guessing.
It's Gracie Johnson, 6 rotation player, one of the captains, one of the best in the ACC, starting a little slowly here in Tallahassee today. We expect her to make a big impact for Duke. Duke, by the way, has been receiving votes for the top 25 for several weeks. Lamawa with the serve and an ace.
Lamawa is that type of player who can do a little bit of everything. Recruited as an outside, now stepping up into that libero position. She also is going to play beach this year for Florida State. So as you see there, a really strong float serve from her, and we're going to see her all around the court doing great things.
Doused at the net, that is put away easily, put down easily, I should say, by Koenig. Raskovich with the set and the finish by Koenig.
Koenig is that type of player who has a ton of range on her swing. It's really hard as a defender to read her because she can hit every single area of the court. Right there going a sharp cross.
Koenig coming off a double-double against North Carolina with 14 kills, 10 digs. Worthington, quick set out of the middle, and the double quick finish, Lizzie Fleming.
Lizzie Fleming touches so high in the air, contacts that ball at such a high point over the net. All she's got to do is have a nice, strong approach and snap her wrist, weaving it away from the middle blocker.
How about this stat? Fleming only 4 errors the entire season.
That is unprecedented.
And Roby's first swing results in a kill out of the middle. So right away, Madison, the players you highlighted are making an impact, as that kill was from Roby, and prior to that, it was on the other side. Go by Fleming.
Like I said before, this is going to be a little middle madness. All 4 of the middles we're going to see here today are hitting over 400 on the season. So efficient, so effective that when these teams are in system and they get a good set on the ball, they usually get a kill. So that's going to make this game really fun to watch.
Jolie Nagel, one of the all-time great coaches in the ACC in her 25th season, having a word with Suzanne Lowry, one of our officials. Keefe with the swing whistle blew though, and we had a double contact called against Duke, so the point goes to Florida State. Keefe, just a standing athlete, has a lot of ties to Stanford, as we'll get into later into the match. Phelan, whose mom actually played for Chris Poole, serving. Worthington with the set, blocked. And how about that block in the middle? You had Conley and Roby both there.
Conley setting that up, but it is Roby with those high hands pressing over the net. Roby had 12 blocks against Virginia Tech in ACC play, earning her ACC Co-Defensive Player of the Year this week, of the week. Could be of the year if she keeps this up.
Yeah, very well good. Left side attack by Richardson doesn't go down. Rothman out of the back row is stuffed at the net by Jess Robinson. Robinson transferring in from Michigan, the all-time career record holder in hitting percentage as a Michigan Wolverine. Served by Keefe. Conley tries to find the opening and does. That was beautifully played. Well, Jess Robinson, we touched on came into this Duke program from Michigan and is used to playing in the Big Ten, which of course is a fantastic volleyball conference. Single season record for hitting percentage last year, and has made a seamless transition into this Duke team. That's what Jolene Nagel was telling us when we chatted with her earlier today.
Yep, now leading her team in hitting percentage. Last season finished 3rd in the NCAA in hitting percentage, so having a lot of success at Michigan and now here at Duke.
Good serve by Richardson. Richardson keeps it alive. Worthington jumps in. Johnson has to send it over. Free ball here for Florida State. Quick middle attack again by Roby, and she's got a couple of kills here in the opening set.
Kenna Phelan, Florida State's freshman setter, and Roby have a great connection. Here we see them running a 3-set, which is not right on top of the setter's head, and that's to kind of stretch out the blocking and have there be less of a blocking presence in front of Roby when she swings.
Rothman denying Worthington at the net, and Florida State keeps on going. Rothman, we mentioned, missed 5 matches and has just come back into the lineup. Touches 10-6, and she is the epitome of student athlete, hoping to go into dental school one day. Plays on the beach team. Johnson, a lot of power. Somehow Phelan kept it alive, but ultimately it's Duke's point.
Great down the line rip by Johnson. One thing that I love about her is she takes a huge rip at the ball no matter what. She plays very aggressive minded volleyball. It's definitely a leader out there playing so aggressively.
Back to serve the libero for Duke, Madison Bryant. Transferred in from Tennessee, came off a tough injury last year. Right side attack by Conley, good dig by Keefe. Off speed by Lewis, doesn't fool Worthington. Here's Johnson again. Little long on this attack, no touch, point Florida State.
Florida State is best when they start out strong, they start out confident. That mindset of, hey, we're going to come in and we're going to do this. They have it right now. They're on a 3-0 streak right here in the ACC, looking to get a 4th, but it's all about that confidence for them. And when they start out getting a lot of points, it makes them play better throughout the whole match.
Draskovic, one of the 2 setters for Florida State serving. And that ball hits the rafter. It comes down on Duke's side, so it's playable. I mean, it hung up there for a while, too. And the point goes to Duke. Snyder has come into the front line for Florida State, number 10. But that was interesting. We don't have a camera that can get up there, but that ball went like through the lights, over a rafter.
It adds a whole different element to the game.
If it comes down on your side, you play it. Florida State up 11-6, make it 12-6. Lewis with the kill out of the middle. Her dad, Corey, was a star basketball player here at Florida State, and she shares his name. They just spell it differently.
A little behind set for Lewis. Just feeling that middle block right there. Slicing it cross body, cross court to get the kill.
Served by Rothman. Here's Johnson again. This time goes off speed. Snyder is able to block it. Here's Keefe. That is too much power from Keefe as she terminates from the right side.
Something that I like about Keefe is that it's not just that she's tall, it's that she's tall and strong. It's not just that she's good at placing the ball, but she places it with power and intention.
Keefe was one of the top recruits coming out of high school, now in her sophomore season, had an injury to overcome, just really getting started this year. Nice serve receive after the fantastic serve by Keefe. And the middle attack is successful from Lizzie Fleming. Man, Fleming, Maddie, she just comes in, does damage, rotates out. I mean, she makes it look easy.
That's all she needs to do, and it's that efficiency, right? You get you get the kill, and that's all you have to do.
2 swings, 2 kills. That's how you do it. A nice play from Draskovic. That was really the only option she had. That is high volleyball IQ and instinct.
Draskovic, a grad student, you see here with all of that maturity and experience she's been cultivating through the years. She's got really good court awareness, really good court vision. She's able to see the open court very easily now.
That's her 8th kill of the season, and it's followed up by Roby getting another one out of the middle, and Florida State looking very good here in this opening set, hitting almost 400.
Roby really good at manning the net, being such a presence up there. She's expectant, she's ready. And with a server like Kai back there, she's expecting the overpass.
Villamala puts another good serve in. Here's Johnson out of the back row, blocked. Richardson, did she get it? No, just wide. Richardson, though, showing you her vertical. But Florida State, winningest active coach in the country, trailing only Florida's Mary Wise, continues to put up the milestones. Went over 900 matches earlier this season, leading this Florida State program, which is in the lead right now here in the set. And Florida State is going to get another point by virtue of a double contact.
And really earlier in the play, that was good by Roby, coming in, closing that block, getting a good touch off Keefe's swing and slowing that ball down for defense to dig up.
Villamala is enjoying a very good run behind the service line right now. Worthington puts up the set. Middle attack by Fleming is defended by Florida State. And what a find. Koenig found the perfect open spot in the Duke defense.
Koenig's such a smart player, very mature, only a junior, but really playing like a grad student. First, you see that quick twitch dig by Droskovic, and then just that roll shot to the open area of the court.
Future Dr. Koenig, she's hoping to become an anesthesiologist one day. Worthington puts it up. Keefe will try again. Tools the block, point Duke.
That's Duke stopping an FSU 5-0 run. Leave it to Keefe to find that open seam in the block that was just left a little crack there, and she took advantage of it.
Riley Cadle in to serve, the junior from Colorado. This Duke team started the season 0-2, then won 9 straight, including a win over nationally ranked Creighton. They beat Michigan, they beat Michigan State. That 9-match win streak was ended by Pitt. And they just dropped that match to Miami on Friday. But this is a very solid Duke team with a lot of grad students hoping to make the NCAA tournament when all is said and done as Cadle commits the service error.
Gotta appreciate that she's going for her serve. I say it a lot, but it's definitely a tightrope walk. You want to serve aggressively, but you don't want to err, especially when you're trailing by this much, but you have to go for it. Because like I said, you don't want to give Florida State an easy serve and let them set up their middles.
Phelan back to serve. She was one of the top high school setters in the nation. Worthington back set to Keefe. It's blocked. They were waiting on it. Roby and Koenig combined.
Such a great setup for that block by Koenig. Roby coming in, closing that block, just pressing their hands so high over the net. Keefe didn't really have anywhere to go. Maybe she was hoping to hit high hands or tool, but that block was just too solid.
Florida State is one of the best blocking teams in the ACC. Especially recently, they just seem to keep getting better and better, more than 3 blocks per set at the moment. Keefe serving for Duke. We go to 25, win by 2 here in this opening set, and that is terminal. Koenig, little target practice hitting Keefe.
Audrey Koenig flying through the air. She jumps up so high, I believe touches 10-8, and just that snap on that ball, hitting straight down the line. Such good angles by Koenig. Like I said before, she can hit every area of the court, and there she is showing us a part of that arsenal.
Koenig with a 4.0 GPA. Just an incredible student. Bioscience master's degree is what she's pursuing. Gaona serving. First time we've said her name tonight. Johnson out of the back row. Dug up by Phelan. Rothman hits it right at Bryant. Keefe wide on the attack. They were looking for a touch. The call did not go Duke's way. And thinking about a challenge is Jolene Nagel. Duke players felt like they saw a touch and they are going to challenge it.
And you might as well, right? If you think maybe there was a touch, Florida State's got the momentum right now. You can use this as a little timeout. Maybe stop Florida State's momentum, talk to your team a bit, and take a breather to reset.
So Suzanne Lowry will go about the decision. She's just telling us the system is not working. So the system not working, that means the original call will stand. And that is not going to make the coach happy that just challenged the call.
No, that's a shame, because the challenge The challenges are a huge part of the game now and can be really helpful for teams. That's just a shame.
There's the swing, and goes right by Rothman's left arm. They were just trying to determine whether or not there had been a touch there, but we play on. When the system goes down, the original call stands. It's basically not having the challenge system. That's unfortunate.
Old school volleyball, here we go.
Keona will serve again. Florida State getting closer and closer to winning the opening set. Off the slide, that is one of the most successful attacks Duke has, is Robinson coming off that slide.
Robinson so good in front of the setter, so good behind. Nice long approach, and then Roby not able to close that block. Robinson hitting so high to that deep corner.
I was watching film on Duke. That was one play I saw over and over again, and it's a little unusual. You don't see as many teams running the slide anymore, Madison.
No, it's very true, and it can be really effective because your middle blocker sometimes doesn't get out there in time because she's waiting and she's holding in that middle for that set in front. But like I said before this game, a key to this game is going to be serving aggressively, getting the opposing team out of 10 digs, hitting 500, so you know they're happy to have most of their players back.
Worthington setting Johnson. Duke needs points in a hurry, and they get it from their all-ACC outside, Gracie Johnson.
Gracie Johnson has so much power and control over her swing. Even when she's a little off the net right there, she's still able to terminate.
Bryant getting her serving instructions from the Duke bench. Florida State close to winning this set. It's a big mountain to climb for Blue Devils, but an ace will certainly help. That's the 14th of the season for Madison Bryant.
Madison Bryant, just a jump float serve, but a little bit out of the reach of the Florida State serve receive, moving that serve receive around, and she got the ace.
Another good serve. Conley almost went off the court to save that one. And a quick middle attack by Fleming, and more often than not, that is going to be successful.
Fleming so terminal in the middle versus Miami. 8 kills, their last game. 8 kills, no errors, hit 444. Like you said before, only 4 errors on the season. If that's not efficient, I don't know what is.
The coach telling us that she has a very soothing presence for her teammates. One of the captains on this Duke team, and has a tendency to uplift everybody around her. Duke is cut into this lead, down to 7 now, and finally Bryant will be off the service line, and we'll see if Florida State can take advantage of it. Good job though by Madison Bryant, the libero, to get Duke a few points here towards the end of the set. If they don't win this set, at least I feel like maybe they've got a little bit of momentum heading into the second and feel better about things. Eakes coming into the front row for Florida State. She's number 1. Draskovic will be back to serve. Draskovic, the best server on this Florida State team. Johnson had a lot of time. Too much time. You're not going to stop that. And right away, side out Duke.
Such a powerful swing by Johnson. With that long approach, and she has such a smooth swing. Coach said she's a beautiful player, not her appearance, but just the flow of her game and how she plays.
The slide by Lewis, and then Rothman dumps it over for the kill. It is set point Seminoles.
Duke wants to say that Rothman was over the net. Florida State immediately cheered, didn't think she was, thought the ball was over the plane of the net. And without the challenge system, you just got to go with it.
Rothman, the good serve. Worthington, middle set, and another kill by Fleming.
One thing that I love about Fleming is that you see her entire body swing through that ball. It's almost like a crunch in the middle of the air because she's snapping so hard on it. Hitting that ball straight down, it's almost impossible to dig.
5 swings from Fleming, 4 have resulted in kills. It's still set point Florida State. Lewis tries to end it, good dig by Bryant. Fleming again, and Fleming putting this Duke team on her back right now, keeping them in this set. Multiple set points remaining for Florida State. However, Duke has played much better here in the back half of this first set. And Johnson's serve goes out of bounds. It is Florida State who takes the opening set 25-18. Now, a very good volleyball conference, and Florida State winning the opening set. First point of the second. That's Draskovic serving. Johnson attacking, dug up by Rothman. Here's Koenig. Johnson again, a little off speed. Lewis got that on the way down. Sent over by Keefe. And point Florida State.
Florida State's offense, all of their players at the net are very tall, very long reach, nice long arms, and putting up quite the wall. Hard for Duke to get past right now.
Now Rothman 6'4", Lewis 6'3", Koenig 6'3". Eakes is in there now at 6'1". Worthington tried the attack, and it ended up working. Enough deception that it ended up giving Duke the point. Worthington with the kill. That's just, she had 3 kills against Miami on Friday. She likes to attack. Draskovic will run this down. Here's Rothman. Rothman sends it out of play. Point Seminoles.
Rothman has a very smooth swing. She likes that deep cross swing. She's got a lot of power behind it. Not a ton of approach there, but able to place the ball really well just outside the libero's reach.
Rothman is so skilled. One of those players that touches well over 10 feet, touches 10-6. Point Duke, and another successful attack. A little bit of a off-speed attack by Fleming.
Something that I like that Coach Nagel said about Fleming is she doesn't have a ton of errors because she's smart. She can adjust to the set, which is very important, and she's good at avoiding the block, which we saw right there with the tip.
Johnson's serve goes out. Florida State takes the 1-point lead, and they'll send Filomela back to serve, who went on a very good serving run in the first set. The freshman, really, I think she'd play every position on the court for Florida State, Madison.
Exactly, she can really do it all, and she was a setter in high school, so she's got great setter's hands.
There's a pass from her. Koenig with the swing, cut it too sharp. Point Duke. It's a beat shot for Koenig.
Koenig actually played in the 2022 Beach Volleyball National Championship for Florida State, so she's got a wide arsenal of offensive weapons. Here, you see she's got that sharp angle. She just aired a little too far outside.
Cadel was serving. Koenig attacks. Good block. Koenig again. It's through the block. Still up. Good D by Duke. Worthington calls everybody off. Richardson pushes. Draskovic one-handed sent that over. Richardson again. Tools the block. Point Duke. That is the dynamic Rachel Richardson, who's only 5'9".
I was just about to say that. That's a perfect way to describe her, as dynamic, undersized, only 5'9", but very explosive. She has to work really hard to get off the net in transition. Has a nice long approach, very powerful swing.
Service error by Cadel. Gives the point back to Florida State. Second set, Seminoles won the first, so subs will come in now. Conley and Phelan return for the Seminoles. And it'll be Phelan going back to serve. We've talked about Phelan's mom, who played for Coach Poole at Arkansas. Her mom, Jessica. Her dad's a tennis coach. In fact, her parents are Chris Poole's daughter's godparents. And that serve set Koenig up nicely at the net to put that away.
That's the kind of aggressive serve you need. Keeping Duke out of system, messing up their serve receive, and not allowing them to get a good set on the ball for their middles.
Phelan, a phenomenal artist as well, has her own Instagram art account. Worthington with the set. Roby said, oh, that felt so good, but this kill will go down for Jess Robinson, who just had too much power on this.
Yep, Jess Robinson just tooling Roby. Roby a little late on the ball, and Jess with just so much power swiping it off those hands.
Good serve by Keefe. Phelan runs to get it. Roby sends it over. Worthington setting Richardson. Dug up by Filamawa. On the way down, that was Roby, still alive. And Johnson, again, off the Seminole hands. This time gets the point for Duke.
That's what I love about Johnson. Even out of system or back row, she's going to take a rip at that ball, even with 2 blockers on her. That was a well-timed block, but she's able to find their hands and tool, even from the back row.
Duke playing much better here in the second set. Only 1 hitting error, and they keep piling it on.
Robinson's 55th block of the season. Just such a wall up there, such a presence at the net.
It is fun to watch a match that's so dominated by the middles. There's Conley tooling the block for the Seminoles. We talk so much about outsides and opposites, but the middles really get the job done for these 2 teams.
They create quite the fun show for us because middles are flashy. Those are flashy swings.
There's a slide by one of them. Good dig by Phelan. Conley tried to go high hands, but went too high, and it goes out of bounds. Point Duke. Conley is the only 4-year senior on this Seminole team. Has the most experience as a Seminole as Richardson serves. Phelan setting Koenig out of the back row. Bryant dug it. Rothman. Another dig by Bryant. Johnson. Filamawa keeps it alive. Rothman hit hands. Point Seminoles.
Rothman doesn't miss a beat. Only a sophomore, out for 5 matches like we said, but just bounced back so well against UNC, and then here leading her team. See Kai Filamawa with a fantastic dig, lining up on the shoulder. Kenna with the set, the bump set still well placed, and then Rothman so long, like I said, such a smooth swing, finding the open court.
Nikki Underwood in for Duke, number 13 in white. And another kill from Jess Robinson from that right side.
Like you said before, Robinson loves that slide, which I think works really well for her, because she's so dynamic in front of the setter, holding Corey Lewis in the middle and then just running a quick slide really takes advantage of that block being a little slower.
Phelan setting Conley. And Duke, a little miscommunication there as that ball got closer to the net. Seminoles get the point.
That's a shame too, because that was a great dig by Keith. Lined up right there in that seam. Dug the ball up. You really want to get a good set on that ball after you made such a good dig.
Draskovic serving from Serbia. Such a popular student athlete here at Florida State. Johnson, a high flying attack, and she is now 10th on the all-time kill list at Duke University.
High flying is the perfect word to describe that. Look at the height that she hits that ball from. Swinging, that's not a big area to swing that seam right there, and she hit it perfectly.
Eakes tried to find the opening. Underwood with the dig. Johnson again pushed it, and it's enough to give them the point. The ball went into the antenna, and Johnson starting to get heated up here, and Duke has the lead here in the second set. And a timeout by Florida State. Well, we saw Duke start to play better toward the end ahead of Louisville. So that's a big match today for the Cardinals to keep the momentum going. Still waiting on that first RPI from the NCAA as we are just crossing into that time of the season, Madison, when we can have some, I guess, credible conversations about who will make the postseason and who won't.
Exactly, and with how strong the ACC is this year, every single game helps your case. Every single match helps your case as you try to make the tournament.
Serve goes off the net from Rothman. Keefe attacks and is blocked by Corey Lewis, number 8.
Corey Lewis does such a good job tracking the ball. Her eye sequence is really strong. She was a little late, but she's really quick to get out there. Once she saw that ball get set, she got out there as quick as possible, pressed her arms over the net, and got the kill. Block, sorry.
Corey Lewis has just been so efficient this year. We've talked about Fleming for Duke, but Corey Lewis has been lights out, one of the best in the nation at hitting efficiency. 473 coming into this match. Florida State has responded since the timeout. We're tied at 11. Rothman serves. Here's Keefe, and Keefe targets Filamaua, as Filamaua just could not get out of the way of that, and Keefe gets another kill.
Keefe, a left-handed attacker. She felt Koenig's block really big. She just squeezed it down the line. Somehow managed to not hit her hands. Great swing.
Good serve, and it set up nicely the overpass kill from Fleming.
It all starts with the serve. Gracie Johnson leading her team in aces, and we can see why. There's so much power and float to that serve.
It's like a point guard giving a player a wide open pass for a dunk. That's just got to feel so good. Not that I would know how that feels, but I can only imagine.
I definitely think it feels good, and most of that should be attributed to the server or the point guard for sure.
Filamaua back to serve. She was an excellent basketball player in high school as well. Worthington to Fleming. Rothman kept it alive with one hand. There's that beach training. You can see it. Richardson hits into the block. Duke still survives though. Keefe, little off speed in the back row to Draskovic. Eeks, blocked. Oh, it's good! Talk about not giving up and pursuing the ball.
The scrappiness of Florida State. All three of those players hit that with one hand, managing to get it over. That's a never say die type of attitude.
Yeah, it was Roby who got the final touch, and that ball just landed inside the line.
A fun way to get a kill for sure.
It ties the score at 13. Florida State has won 4 straight matches, longest win streak of the season, and the momentum building for the Seminoles with Filamaua behind the service line.
Filamaua really settling into her role for the Seminoles here. Came in thinking she was going to be an outside attacker, had to step up as libero, and really just all around settling in here.
Worthington pushes it to the other pin, and Richardson was ready to make the impact.
Richardson has so much power behind that swing, but what makes a hitter good is that you can mix it up. You see there with the tip, jumping so high though. She's contacting where she's tipping that at such a high point. It makes it really hard to block.
Cadle into serve, former Colorado high school player of the year. Serves Rothman. And Draskovic with the dump. Fooled the Duke Blue Devils on the attack. Draskovic, only her 8th kill of the season, so that's not something that's going to show up on the scouting report.
No, but that's great by Draskovic, holding those blockers, making them stay, making them front her. Now that she's established that, she can free up her hitters.
That's such a good feel for the game when you watch her play in person. Phelan with a serve. Conley dumps it over for the kill, and Phelan will serve again. Good serving by the Seminoles to retake the lead here in the second set after that crucial timeout earlier.
Conley just manning the net up there. A ton of maturity and experience. Like we said before, the only lone senior on this Florida State team, so put in a ton of hours and matches for this program.
Phelan serves Bryant. Worthington, she's going to try to take it over, does, and the setters suddenly are terminal. Madison, what's going on here?
It's a really smart tactic. You are an offensive weapon yourself as a setter. It only disrupts the defense when you can feel that hole in the middle of the court, or you feel that block totally not fronting you. It's really smart to take advantage of it.
Worthington transferred in from Cornell. Phelan to Koenig, and Koenig crushes it on the left side. Seminoles lead by 2.
Koenig is definitely Florida State's go-to. We talk about the middles a lot, but Koenig leads the team in kills. That's because she can hit every single area of the court. You've got 2 Duke defenders diving out to get that ball, and neither of them able to.
And they go glancing over to the staff to get the serving instructions here. Lindsay Allman tells her where to serve, and she does. Slide attack, dug by Koenig. Ilamawa puts up the pass to Conley. Worthington sets middle, kill Robinson.
And that's what happens when you're in system. You're able to get a quick set. Robinson's super dynamic and powerful, coming in and tooling the block, which was a little late. You want that block to come up a little quicker to have your full arms pressed by the time they're hitting.
Rothman, not gonna stop that.
Holy power from Rothman. I haven't seen her swing with that much power in a long time. Yes, she's been out for 5 matches, but usually she's more of a smart player, very consistent, but there's a lot of power behind that swing, and a lot of the times that comes from a long approach with all your momentum moving forward.
Served by Roby. Worthington takes it over again. Seminoles were ready this time. Worthington setting Johnson, blocked by Conley. Phelan sets Rothman, and Rothman finds the open corner for another kill. Rothman is so impactful right now. 6'4", plays on the beach.
Wow, what doesn't she have?
You gotta have a good smile if you're going into dentistry.
Good point.
Holquist into the match to serve and does it well. Well, was Rothman in the net? No, it was Duke. Point Florida State. Holquist back to serve. Her dad, Dwayne Holquist, men's tennis coach here at Florida State. Of course, her sister Addie was, her sister Devin was an incredible beach player here at Florida State.
Yep, I had the opportunity to play with on the same team as Devin, and I just can't say enough about the Holtquist, who they are as people. Just a fantastic family.
Good serve from Holquist. Florida State's trying to take a 2-1 lead. Duke was leading the first part of the set. Florida State has responded. Now Johnson sides out for Duke as Duke's down a set here in this best-of-5 set match.
That was a really smart move by Johnson. She just had an error. She swung out. She took a little bit of heat off of it, tipped the ball to the open area of the court, pulled back a little bit.
Rothman takes the serve. Phelan puts up the set to Conley. Duke pursues, but Conley terminates eventually from that right side, and the Seminoles maintain the lead.
Conley, very wristy, very shoddy and cheeky on offense. She's got a wide arsenal of shots, and she's not afraid to pull them out.
Jelly Draskovic will be serving now at this crucial time. Draskovic from Serbia. She's the 7th Serbian player to play here at Florida State. Her master's degree right now. Good serve. Joust at the net, still alive. Holquist will put it up for Eakes. Worthington kept alive by Koenig. Here's Rothman. And Rothman hits high hands. Seminoles lead 23-17. Timeout Duke.
All around hitters in the ACC.
She was on that Oregon team that almost upset Louisville last year in the NCAA tournament. Of course, Louisville went on to the national championship, and Worthington gets credit for that as Duke sides out right away following the timeout. Serves Holquist. Eakes. Whoa! What a swing by Eakes.
Welcome to the game, Sky Eakes. Not the most consistent player on the court. We don't see her out there a ton, but when she does come in, she's very powerful, averaging 1.83 kills per set.
Set point Florida State, and Rothman hits the serve out. It remains set point as Duke again in another challenging situation late in the set. It'll be Johnson serving for Duke. Set point Florida State #2. Serves Rothman. Droskovic setting Koenig. Koenig long on the attack. Another set point saved by the Blue Devils. 4 more at Florida State's disposal. And Chris Poole's standing up saying he wants a timeout. They've lost 2 set points in a row, wants to get everybody on the serve. A 3rd set point for Florida State. Droskovic to Lewis. Lewis off the slide, finishes the set. So the Seminoles respond to the Duke challenge in terms of what they can do better. Any ideas?
Yes, I think ball control, handling that first pass. Florida State serving pretty aggressively, but if you're Duke, you really need to get that first ball contact down.
Florida State had 15 kills in the second set after 12 in the first. They just seem to get better and better. And the point going to Duke, I believe. What was the violation there? I didn't see it.
A net call on one of the blockers for Florida State.
Net violation on Florida State. You are correct. So the opening point goes to Duke. And, the other side of the court cleaned up a little bit. So hot and humid outside. Nice serve. Filamaua to Rothman, and Rothman puts it down for another kill. She's got 8 now, and she leads the match in that category.
And really that all starts with that out-of-system set from the libero, Kai Filamaua. Perfect set out to the outside, and that's because she used to be a setter. She's got great setter hands, and that's awesome when Florida State's out of system.
Second ace of the match by Rothman. She's showing up right now in every offensive statistical category.
Exactly. Rothman leading her team in kills, hitting percentage, 467, and right there, her second ace.
Assists, 2 aces, 2 digs, a block. Middle attack by Fleming, blocked by the Seminoles. As Corey Lewis again making her presence felt.
Corey Lewis does a really good job tracking the ball, knowing that Fleming is in the front row, and that Worthington loves to set her, waiting on it, diving into that angle and blocking that crossbody swing.
Worthington to Johnson, and Johnson just destroyed that, went right over the block into the open court.
Johnson's so deceptive as an attacker, coming in looking like she may swing more angle, but then just moving it right through that open seam of the block. Great swing with so much power behind it.
Last year, first season All-ACC, on the preseason All-ACC team, of course, this year, and an ace from Johnson to follow up that kill. She's leading by example right now as we're tied at 3. Duke must win 3 straight sets to take this match on the road in Tallahassee. Seminoles will be heading further south here in the Sunshine State to take on Miami on Wednesday. Filamaua had to play that. Lewis, and Lewis overpowers the Duke defense.
Lewis is good in front of the setter, behind the setter, has a really quick arm swing. Able to tool the block while they're on their way down. Lewis 4 kills and 1 block. A little bit more of a quiet night than she had against UNC, but still very good.
Good serve by Filamaua. Roby unable to put it down. Duke's still alive. Richardson went over the block. Back row Rothman, dug up by Bryant. This has got to go over. Eats. Wide on the attack, no touch, point Duke.
You heard me give a little woo. Well, that's because that was a really sharp angle swing coming
Almost
right
hit
for us.
Yeah, we're at the 10-foot line. I mean, she cut that extremely sharp. Eeks from Sarasota, grew up modeling in New York. Filamaua with the serve receive. Nice up by Richardson, and that is dumped over eventually by Roby. Point Florida State.
That was a great up by Richardson. Worthington just a little late to break away to the net. Great block, and really just such control over her body right at the net. 2 blocks, 4 kills, such a presence up there.
Phelan in to serve now. Phelan, one of the bright young stars in the ACC. Here's Keefe. Keefe went cross court, and that was the right shot. We had such a good look at it from our vantage point here, Madison. That was a beautiful attack.
What's really impressive by Keefe is her footwork. That set was a little too outside for a left-handed attacker, but she just did 2 quick steps to the outside, lined up perfectly, and had so much power behind that ball.
And an ace right off the top of the net. And Keefe responsible for the last 2 points for the Blue Devils, and they take the lead as a result.
That's my absolute favorite. You get a kill, you go back to serve, you get an ace. The momentum is real right now for Keefe.
Keefe, just a sophomore. Phelan setting Koenig. Nice dig by Johnson. Here's Keefe again. And Keefe tools the block. That hit the ceiling, but it came back on the other side of the court, and so it's Duke's point. If that ball had come down on Florida State's side, they would have been able to play it. A lot of ceiling balls today.
Yeah, I think the ceiling needs to be raised a little bit.
It's just how athletic both these teams are. And Johnson, speaking of athletic, what an attack to be that lethal from that far back.
It's so great for Duke to have Johnson as a...
And Keefe, who's serving, is a big reason why. Phelan setting, and that is destroyed by Roby to side out with the exclamation point.
Yari Roby, so athletic, feeling that pass and set a little bit towards the right side pin, working her way towards the setter. Great setter-hitter connection by Roby and Phelan.
Back row, Johnson again. Her second straight kill from the back row. And now she moves up to the front.
Johnson is just as good from the back row as she is from the front row, and that's because she jumps so high, contacting that ball at such a high point over the net.
That's a perfect example of Jolene Nagel's description of her as a beautiful athlete. Conley, a dig by Bryant, and this is tough. Free ball here for Florida State, and it's Phelan who sends it over. Both teams had a chance, and ultimately it's Duke's point as Robinson gets the kill.
Robinson loves that slide, taking advantage of the block not being all the way there, tooling high hands.
Richardson will serve. Villamau with the receive. Pancake, Bryant got under it. Rothman goes to the back, Richardson's waiting on it. Here's Keefe, hit hands. Rothman, long on the attack, and the Duke tenacity pays off.
Tenacity is the perfect word to describe that play, and the perfect word to describe this one right here. Laying out, it looked like she wasn't gonna get there. The perfect pancake. And the bump set. That's what you want from your libero. You want a never say die attitude. You want that kind of scrappiness. The play is not over.
Yeah, this Duke team is down 2-0, and they may come back and win this in 5, but one thing you cannot say about them is that they don't leave it all out on the floor. I mean, this Duke team is pursuing every ball. Duke has its largest lead of the day, period, which is 6 right now. They've doubled up the score here in this must-win set for the Blue Devils, and swings 0 errors so far for the Blue Devils. And they've got to win this set to keep the match going. Rothman attacks, she's blocked by Robinson. Roby tries it and finds success.
Great setter-hitter connection by Kenna and Roby. Roby with 6 kills and 2 blocks. Really powerful middle attacker, likes to run in front of the set a lot.
Roby, another good serving middle. Worthington puts it up for Johnson. Johnson had to wait on it. Phelan back to Conley. Conley tools the block, and the Seminoles have 2 unanswered points. The lead is 4 for Duke.
I love that set by Kenna. That back set's a really difficult thing to do, to find your hitter's shoulder, and she did it very well, just a freshman.
Phelan with 11 assists. Keefe off speed out of the back row. Phelan gets another assist. This time it's to Corey Lewis.
If you're Florida State, You need to have that first pass be straight to your setter. That way you can involve Corey Lewis and Kiari Roby because they're so efficient. Corey Lewis does such a good job seeing Robinson right in front of her. That crossbody swing.
Lewis, no errors today. Johnson has to pursue that. Oh, that is the sign of an elite player as she's able to do something with that ball that was so tight to the net.
Exactly. Gracie Johnson really good at adjusting to that set. There's a lot of maturity on her part.
Bryant will serve. Lamala calls everybody off. Here's Rothman. Johnson. Lamala will run it down. Sent over by Phelan. Worthington with the set to Johnson, blocked by Conley. Keefe finally ends the point with too much power.
That's great to use Keefe in the back row. Right now, setter Worthington in the front row, so only has 2 weapons on offense up there, but that's okay because she's got Keefe behind her. Left-handed attacker, really seeing the block. It's a great crossbody swing.
7 kills for Keefe. Phelan to the pin to Rothman. Bryant almost off her body with that dig. Conley hits it right at Keefe. Johnson. Rothman hit it over. Keefe back row, hit hands, point Duke. And suddenly the Seminoles having trouble stopping Keefe.
I love it when different players heat up at different times. And Worthington is doing a really good job setting the hot hands right now.
5 Blue Devils with at least 4 kills in this match. Florida State with 5 players with at least 5 kills. Service error gives the point to Florida State. Duke was having issues with serve errors earlier in the match, but that's their 10th overall, and just 4 aces to offset that, whereas on the other side, Seminoles have 4 aces and only 3 service errors. That's an excellent serve to error ratio, ace to error ratio. Joust. Eeks. And it is Duke into the net. Point Florida State.
If you're Florida State, you want Droskovic back there as your server.
See the Duke defenders on the way down, hitting the net. See it shaking.
Yeah, I think that was a good call.
Droskovic with the serve. Johnson. Oh, there's a little extra in that swing.
And I like that quick set to the pin by Johnson, or by Worthington to Johnson. Able to beat the block, hitting high hands. You see how quick that set is. She's already doing an approach and then just high off the top hands of the blocker.
Worthington with a good serve. Villamala touches that over. Worthington now will set Keefe again. She's had the hot hand. And that sets up Johnson for the overpass kill.
We talked a lot about the middles earlier before this game, but right now for Duke, it's Johnson, then Keefe, Johnson, then Keefe. 12 kills for Johnson, 8 for Carrie Keefe.
Again, Duke has to win this set to keep the match going. Rothman hits into the block, now hits again. A 3rd try on this play. Little attack dug up. Rothman out of play, point Florida State.
And really, if you're Johnson, you do want to control that ball. She was there. She was just moving on contact. In volleyball, you want to be stopped when you pass that ball.
Duke trying to end a 10-match losing streak to Florida State. It has not started in a good way for Duke. This is a 3 out of 5 set match. Keefe attacks, block, nice block by Lewis. Lewis has to get back into the play. Little miscommunication there, that goes out, point Duke.
Whenever you feel another team hot, tend to make more errors. Florida State, I think, coiling back a bit. Their communication not as strong as it was before because they feel Duke so strong in their faces, doing so well.
Florida State has swept its last 2 opponents, including North Carolina here on this court Friday night. They held the Tar Heels to just 197 hitting and only committed 1 service error in that match. They've been playing so efficient. Duke trying to steal a set here. Keep this match going. There's Keefe, but over the block. Lewis kept it alive. Koenig sends it over. Worthington, middle attack by Fleming. Richardson, and Richardson hits it wide. Point Florida State.
Richardson really going for that angle, very athletic and dynamic as an attacker, just aired a little too far outside, but you have to appreciate that she's going for that line.
Duke coming off a 4-set loss at Miami on Friday. Somehow that went over. Fleming caught it on the way down. Koenig kill to the back corner, and the Seminoles cut the Duke lead to 4.
And what's so good by Koenig here, she really had to make an effort to get off the net, work really hard in transition to hit that deep corner. Not much of an approach, but a ton of control over her body and her swing.
Duke players asking for some sweat to get wiped up off the floor since I had a little bit of a delay. It'll be Filamaua serving. Serves Bryant. Richardson. Roby blocked. Snyder's in. This is her swinging. And Snyder comes in and gets a kill right away. The lefty from Land O'Lakes, Florida.
And right now, Droskovic is doing a really good job spreading out her offense. You see there, she's got a great middle attacker, a great outside attacker, but she goes back to Maddie Snyder for the kill. It's great setting by her.
Snyder, a freshman, playing better and better. Seminoles keep that alive. Worthington sets middle to Fleming, and Fleming puts it away.
Fleming got a little quiet there in the middle, but just a reminder, she's hitting over 500. That's her 8th kill of the night.
Fleming, the 6'3" grad student from San Francisco, came into the match having just 4 hitting errors the entire season. That stat stays, no errors today. And Robinson hammers it as Duke responds to that Florida State run and now leads by 5.
Almost like Robinson knew that was going to happen, an overpass by Filamaua, and then Robinson just so tall and powerful, just got a good snap on that ball.
Duke in a must-win set, looking good right now. Again, a 2nd straight kill from Robinson. Wait a minute, did they say it was a lift? Waiting on a confirmation. Remember, the challenge system is down. Originally, the ball was called as a kill, and Tim Wisham, our up judge, apparently said that that was a lift on Duke, so Florida State is going to get the point.
Yep, I think they're thinking that Robinson just carried that ball a little too long. A really powerful tip, very impressive, but they think she just held on to it for too long.
Bad break for Duke. Remember, the challenge system's down, so the coaches are having to play with the original call. Phelan will serve. Florida State trailing by 4, but up 2 sets to none. An ace by Phelan as that just drops straight down. The Duke players are saying that the serve was out. And they're going to check to see if the challenge system is operating right now.
Yep,
here's another look at it.
This is one of the scenarios where Duke really needs the challenge system to be up and running, because sometimes the line judges make mistakes. Let's look at it here. That's very, very close. Duke immediately said out. They seem pretty confident.
They let it go. That's always a risk. I don't know, from that angle, it looks good.
Yeah.
And Suzanne Lowry, the R2, is trying to explain the situation to Jolene Nagel. And obviously, if you're the visiting coach and you come to a gym and the challenge system is not working, it's even worse. So she's unfortunately going to have to live with the call. There's nothing that Suzanne Lowry can do about it. This is not an officiating issue. It's just the challenge system, which is operated here at the school, is not functioning properly. So the call will stand, and we'll see if Duke can respond to this bit of adversity. Again, she's got 5 grad students on the roster. They're all starters, a very mature team. So this is just one of those things, Madison, you have to handle.
Exactly, and maybe use this to light a fire under your belt and to provide a little bit more motivation.
So 2017 in a must-win set for Duke. Florida State up 2-0. Worthington setting Robinson. Robinson asked for it. She wanted that kill.
Said, me, coming in super strong. Great swing by Robinson. Hitting that ball at such a high point. First, it starts with the pass by Bryant.
Back to live action. Serve from Keefe. And Koenig, with a lot of hang time, just waited for the defense to come down and popped it over the top.
Koenig is an all-around athlete. We mentioned she played beach volleyball at Florida State, played in a national championship.
Koenig gonna come out and be subbed. Ella Gaona, the freshman from St. Louis, will come in to serve. Gaona has been utilized in this serving specialist role this year. 4 aces this season. Good serve, and it sets up the overpass kill from Roby.
Great serve, deep. Duke serve receive wasn't able to shuffle back enough.
Serving, Florida State's won 4 of the last 5 points to get to within 2. Serves deep to Bryant. Worthington to Richardson. Rothman keeps it alive. And that was punched over by Roby, but the point given to the Seminoles there before the kill goes down.
It's like everything is working for the Seminoles right now. Duke can kind of feel right here that they need to win this. This is a do or die situation for them.
Miss Robinson was in the net there. Worthington to Robinson off the slide, and she terminates. That was a big side out for Duke.
Duke definitely needed that to get them ahead by 2. Johnson's so fast, tooling off the block. She set Big Ten season hitting percentage record at .388. Robinson, so good behind the setter.
And now Richardson serving. Phelan settles it, sets Rothman, the one-handed dig by Richardson, but no one there to track it down. And Florida State back to within 2 as we go to 25, win by 2 in this set. If Florida State comes back and wins it, the match is over. If Duke wins this set, we head to a 4th. Louisville and North Carolina State coming up from Raleigh at the top of the hour after this match. The ACC now one of the top volleyball conferences in the country. Had 2 teams in the national semis, 1 in the national championship last year. Worthington to Robinson, thumped it. Keefe tracks it down. I think that was going out. Johnson kept it alive. Koenig, back row. Keefe with another dig. Johnson tight to the net, goes down the line, misses. Point, Florida State.
Johnson with not a ton of errors. You have to appreciate her going after that line. Maybe trying to hit Conley's hands on the wing.
Florida State has tied the score for the first time since 5-all. Hulk was serving. Duke's got to send this over. Bryant does. Good D by the Blue Devils. Phelan to the middle, and Roby gives Florida State their first lead since it was 5-4 and the match is hanging in the balance.
Lewis with these angles, just hitting every area of the court. That's such a sharp angle swing by her.
Worthington, side out Duke. We're tied at 23. Somebody's gonna have a match point or a set point after this next one.
We called this before. We called this match Middle Mania. We got a perfect representation of it right here. First Lewis, now Robinson responding. 9 kills, hitting 467. When these two teams are in system, their middles are firing on all cylinders and are so efficient.
Bryant to serve. Phelan, back setting Conley. Elo has just come into the match for the first time and gives Duke its first set point of the day.
Welcome to the match.
Ngozi Elo, redshirt sophomore from Peachtree City, Georgia. We are going for an ace by Madison Bryant. Clinches the set for the
team. They hit 370 against UNC, so the Blue Devils doing a really good job at slowing down Florida State, but Florida State's still playing at a very high level.
Florida State on the left, Duke on the right. Another must-win set for the Blue Devils, and that's a step in the right direction by Gracie Johnson, who gets the kill on the opening swing.
I actually saw Gracie Johnson say to her teammates before this set, let's keep this going, let's keep this going.
Worthington, the setter, serving. Good serve. Droskovic reached up, really didn't have any play on it. Point goes to Duke as Droskovic was over the net. Incredible serve.
That's all thanks to the serve. Nice deep floater.
Worthington again. Droskovic, better set this time. Snyder thought she had put it out of play. You can't get a ball past this Duke defense very easily. Snyder again, blocked by Johnson. Here's Koenig from the other pin, and Koenig misses wide, point Duke.
Duke doing a really good job at sealing that net and playing very scrappy defense, causing Florida State to err.
What a start by Duke in this must-win fourth set. Snyder tips that over. And again, the Duke tenacity just keeps paying off. That hit the antenna, and it's going to be Duke's point.
And this will be Bryant's second pancake of the night.
Wow.
Just laying out all out for that ball.
I mean, Bryant with 14 digs, but they have been with style.
Yes.
Roby hits into the block. Johnson goes over the block, hits hands, and it's a 5-0 run to start the fourth set for the Blue Devils.
Johnson could feel that deep line open. Really smart swing by her. Not a ton of power, but a lot of chaos there, and feeling like that was a good spot to hit that deep.
How to start this fourth set, Madison. Duke's on fire, up 5-0.
They're playing really aggressively and freely. Florida State is able to get on the board right here. 1-5, only down by 4.
Koenig sides out for the Seminoles. Good timeout by Chris Poole. Able to run that play and get the point. Florida State trying to finish this match in 4 sets. Duke would need to send it to a 5th. Served by Phelan. Johnson crushes it from the left side. Whoa!
Absolutely flying through the air. That comes from a nice long approach. All her momentum moving forward, powering through that ball for the cross-court swing. Total kills 16.
She started slowly today, but is coming on strong, up to hitting 316 right now. And how about another ace? Remember, at start of the match, she was having trouble getting the serve in, and that is her second service ace of the match.
And when it's so low and flat like that, it is hard to get your body there to pass it up.
That was beautiful. Koenig tools the block, and Koenig has the 2 points for Florida State so far here in the fourth.
Koenig hits with a lot of range. That's a really sharp swing by her.
Dr. Koenig getting ready to serve. Fleming attacks, too much power for Phelan. Point Blue Devils.
That's Fleming's 8th kill on 16 attempts, so she's hitting 500. She's being as efficient as she has been the rest of the season.
Conley putting up the set to Rothman. Conley puts away the overpass. Sydney Conley from Oviedo, Florida. Veteran, so was a very good tennis player when she was younger. Her autobiography would be Revenge of the Cid. That's what she said, yeah.
I like that. That seems opposite of how she plays, though. She's
Yeah.
very calm and cool.
Robinson hit it right at Koenig and gets the kill.
Robinson plays at such a high level and is so consistent, coming straight to her setter. Great deep swing.
Philomalis to Rothman, and Rothman puts it down from the left pin.
That's a great area of the court to hit in between the right side, the right back defender and the middle defender, right in between in that seam with a ton of power and very, very deep on the court.
Snyder comes into the front row, number 10 for Florida State. Drostovic in to serve now. She'll be taking over the setting duties. Phelan comes out. Worthington, back set to Robinson. That was a little too far out of reach, and one of the rare miscommunications on that set by Worthington to Robinson. They've been so solid today. Drostovic will serve again. She has been disruptive behind the service line. Both serve this time. Richardson goes wide, misses it. And another point for the Seminoles as they close the gap to 3.
If you're the Seminoles, you like having Drostovic back there. She's a really good aggressive server. And Richardson, just a little bit of timing error there by her and the setter.
Johnson steps in to receive that serve. Here's Richardson again. They go to her a second straight time, and it's another error as the Seminoles get closer and closer, 9-7. They've won the last 4 points. Bryant receives this serve. Keefe, clean winner from the back row.
That was a smart decision by Worthington to set Keefe. He's very consistent from that back row attack. Right in between 2 defenders. Keefe having a fantastic night, 9 kills and 6 digs.
Duke back up by 3 in a must-win set. And Rothman overpowers the Blue Devils, 10-8.
Rothman right now leading the team in hitting percentages, hitting .333, .357, and 12 kills.
Rothman serves it at Underwood. Johnson pushes it into the corner. Oh, that is just such excellent recognition by Gracie Johnson. It was the only part of the court that was open.
Exactly, and really smart, controlled tip to the deep line. You're right, that was pretty much the only part that was open, and she was able to find it with all that power behind that tip.
Duke still in front in this must-win set. Koenig thunders it down.
exclamation point kind of swing by Koenig. I said it before, she's got a ton of range, probably the most range on the team. That's such a sharp swing, pretty much 10-foot line cross court.
Koenig, another one of those players with incredible vertical, touches 10-8. Fleming out of the middle, dug by the Seminoles. Here's Snyder. Snyder hits into the block. Koenig, this time tools the block, point Florida State. Seminoles within one.
And the Duke block kind of on their way down while Koenig was contacting that ball. Not the best timing by that Duke block.
Lamala with a short serve. Underwood received it. Johnson had to pursue that tight to the net. Snyder blocked by Johnson, and somehow Duke got that turned around in their favor.
Johnson is the fire of this team right now. Not the best set, so she had to tip, and now she's ready for this block, pressing and turning her palms, facing them into the court, blocking that ball into the court and firing up her team.
Yeah, you love it because she's not only firing them up by what she's saying, she's doing it as well. It's her play. And Koenig, on the other hand, is carrying the Seminoles right now here in the fourth set.
Koenig had 3 kills in the first set, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and now is already at 5.
Freshman Phelan back to serve. Nice serve by Phelan. Keefe. Dug by Phelan, pursued by Koenig. It goes over. Keefe blocked into the antenna, however. And the point's going to be Duke.
We love the scrappiness from Florida State, playing absolutely all out, but Keefe able to tidy it up and get the kill.
It's this Duke team, they're so tenacious on defense. It's hard to put a ball down against them. They pursue everything. Phelan with the dump. Perfect time to do it for the freshman. And again, she only had 4 kills the entire season coming into this match.
It was so clean, too. Such a beautiful dump, and to only have done it 4 times and to make it look that good on her 5th is so impressive. 18 assists on the game and 6 digs. Some great serve. She's an all-around player.
She is going to be running this team after Draskovic leaves. Right side, Keefe went off speed and fooled the Seminoles. She'd been attacking with ferocity prior to that. And substitutions now will come in. Again, Keefe, just part of a tradition-rich volleyball family. Such a feel for the game. Cadel in to serve. Here's Rothman, and Rothman is stuffed. Robinson says, not in here.
That was an absolute perfect block. If you're a student of the game, if you're a younger player and you're watching this game, you want to watch that block right there. Perfect timing, perfect pacing, and great press over the net.
Duke up 3 in another must-win set, and an ace to make it a 4-point lead. Florida State is going to take a timeout. The academic program has just worked out wonderfully for both. Phelan setting Koenig, back row attack, and more often than not, Florida State sides out after a timeout when Chris Poole can get everybody's attention.
Yep, Florida State a really strong side-out team, setting that back row to Audrey Koenig, who's really good back there. She's got 14 kills. Hitting .423 as an outside attacker is a really high number.
Roby waiting on the green light to serve. Florida State trying to win this in 4 and avoid a 5th. Good serve from Roby. Bryant with the receive. It's Richardson. Phelan to Conley, and Conley puts it down.
Robinson just a little late to close that block. There was a little gap, and Conley took advantage of that with a really quick arm swing just right through that seam.
The margin's so thin right now. Worthington setting middle to Robinson, still alive. Again, this has got to go over. It's sent over by Indai, who's in for the first time. And finally, Robinson is able to put it away.
Audrey Koenig doing a really good job on defense. 2 great digs, but Robinson, such an experienced middle blocker, middle attacker, just manning the net. She was ready for that ball. Great snap on it.
Duke up 17-14. They lost the first 2 sets. Keefe. Richardson pushed it into the block and it goes out of bounds. Point Duke.
While Richardson was going up to get that tip, in my head I thought, can she? Because that was a pretty difficult set. Looked like it was gonna hit the antenna, but she met it before because she jumped so high and was able to tool the block with the tip.
Keefe with the serve. Phelan will set Rothman. And Rothman is able to put it down from the left pin to side out for the Seminoles. Snyder and Droskovic will rotate back in.
Phelan and Rothman having a great setter-hitter connection right now. Everything seems to be on with the setters and their outsides.
I don't know about you, I can feel the intensity in here. You know,
no, I'm nervous.
This is a high-pressure match right now. You can feel it on both sides. Droskovic serving. Robinson hit into the block. It was Rothman that got most of that one.
Rothman only a sophomore, but as you can tell out there, not just with stats, but emotionally a leader on this team. She read that ball really well off Robinson's shoulder, diving to close that seam, not allowing Robinson anywhere to go.
Richardson and Koenig got her hand on it. That might have gone long, but in that situation as a player, Madison, how do you decide whether you're going to play it or not?
It's really hard to, when you're in the game, you're thinking nothing touches the ground. You're not really thinking about in or out sometimes, you're just all in it, so that's probably what happened with Koenig.
Droskovic setting Rothman. Rothman went over the block. Bryant for the dig. Johnson went down the line, got the touch, and the point belongs to Duke.
Johnson definitely taking advantage of Maddie Snyder, the right side blocker on Florida State, not really being timed up well and then not having the highest vertical and just hitting over her and tooling her.
This is getting serious. Rothman down the line, missed. Waited to see if there was a touch. We are perilously close to a 5th set.
It seems like things are moving really quickly for Duke. They're going back and they're serving immediately.
It's been a fast set. Snyder hits into the block, side out Florida State. And obviously a lot of you, we've been talking about Louisville, NC State. They have started over on the ESPN app, so you can follow along that match and watch this one if you have a couple of devices. And then Courtney and Holly will take it away from Tallahassee once this is finished. We may be here a while, Madison.
Yeah, Duke and Florida State wanted all the attention. They wanted to stay on the air.
They are front and center right now. Johnson tips it over the block, and that was the smart shot. And then Snyder tripping over Droskovic. Thankfully, they're both okay.
And right there, you can kind of tell that Snyder is a freshman. You really could have waited a little bit longer to contact that ball, or maybe turned around and passed it to have more control. The ball control on Florida State side of the net is not that clean right now.
Bryant serving. Serves Filamawa. Koenig. So tough to put it away against Duke. And finally, Koenig has an answer. That's what a 4.0 GPA will do for you, right?
She got the answers to everything. That was a really smart move by her. Smart, like everything she does apparently, but she had a deep swing and got dug up. So she just does the short tip, and it got to land. She has 15 kills right now.
Overpass, Koenig Makes it 2 in a row for the Seminoles, who pulled it within 3.
Audrey Koenig is definitely one of those players that Florida State relies on to be consistently good the entire game.
Another good serve. Worthington with the set. Keefe out of the back row. Droskovic digs it. Here's Koenig. And Koenig! 3 straight points to close the gap to 2.
Florida State doing a really good job fighting back. And then here's Maddie Snyder, the freshman, with the back bump set from pin to pin. Koenig right there did a really good job at waiting on her approach, knowing that the ball was going to be a little off the net.
This is over. Villamauer ready to serve. Worthington to Johnson, and Johnson tools the block. 23-20 Duke.
Johnson just casually tacking on her 20th kill of the night. She's been so effective up there. Great high hand swing down the line.
Worthington with the serve. Droskovic sends it over to Koenig, and Koenig is blocked. Set point Duke.
Fleming and Keefe, so tall up there. Sometimes you'll see a right side attacker maybe not be that tall, but Keefe is 6'3". And Fleming closing that block perfectly, well timed.
Droskovic in the middle, side out Roby. And Florida State stays alive for now. Duke with 3 more set points at their disposal.
That's when Florida State is at their best, when they have the in-system pass. They're able to set their middles.
Johnson received the serve. Keefe. Koenig rolls it over. Bryant saved it. Phelan setting the middle again, and it is Roby one more time, saving another set point. 2 more remain for Duke, 24-22.
We definitely have to applaud Duke's defense. Both teams very, very scrappy, but that was a really hard play to keep up, and Duke did a really good job being super scrappy. But Roby, so efficient up there with the tip.
Duke has only played in 1 5-set match this year. That was the win over nationally ranked Creighton. Nice serve. Still set point Duke. Waiting on the call. Neither official able to figure out initially, and now they confer and decide that it is Duke's point. See it one more time. They're still talking about it. And that, let's see. So does that ball touch the antenna or touch the net? Florida State is challenging. Now remember, the challenge system was not working earlier. The point, and therefore the set, was given to Duke. So they are going to challenge whether this ball was either in or out or hit the antenna. Apparently the system's working now. That's good.
That is good. That's such an important part of the game.
So the ball was ruled out. And that's what gave Duke the call. Suzanne Lowry finally able to be able to watch the review system. Here it is. So there's Johnson going up against Conley for Florida State. Goes off of Conley. It looks like it doesn't hit the antenna.
That's a tough call, and this is a very important point. Sam, the gym is pretty silent, other than the music. But other than that, no one seems to be talking except these 2 teams.
Well,
ref.
She should have some different angles than what we have. And again, the ruling was the ball was out. So this is the overhead. It's Conley in red. Watch the ball come down. And yeah, that was out. Certainly from our angle, looks like this call is going to stand and we're headed to a 5th set. Duke lost the first 2 sets in this match and has battled back.
And Duke has lost the last 10 matches against the Florida State Seminoles, so you know you're motivated to win every single game, but that stat right there is very motivating in itself.
And they had the Jumbotron here in Tully. Fans are able to see that replay as well, and all the teams are looking up at it. Suzanne Lowry, looks like she's ready to make the call now. Set literally hanging in the balance. If this goes against Duke, we're still playing. And it is Duke who wins the 4th set. We are going the distance in the 5'11" player from Manhattan Beach, California, up to serve. A reminder, Louisville and NC State will take over when we are finished. They're on the app right now. Rothman. Worthington to Robinson, and Robinson actually hit it off the scoreboard, off the ricochet, to put a little more exclamation point behind that. First point to the Blue Devils. Keelan sets middle to Roby. So the middles account for the first 2 points of the 5th.
We called it middle madness before the match, and we're sticking to it. Roby responding well, kind of with that 3 set, spreading out that block, that Duke block, able to squeeze it by Robinson's hands. Roby with 11 kills.
Raskovic in to serve, the setter from Serbia. Deep serve to Bryant, joust at the net. Roby had the advantage there and puts it away like a layup in basketball. She's not going to miss that.
Nope, Roby was ready for that. She was expectant, manning the net, and it always starts with the serve. This is a game of ball control. First ball contact is so important.
Raskovic has been so reliable behind the service line. I know they're very happy to have her back there. Johnson, how about her reliability? She has been so terminal in this match with over 20 kills.
That's a season high for Johnson, 21 kills, hitting .386. So just so efficient out there.
Yeah, even the 20 was a season high. She's having an amazing match here in Tallahassee. And Roby is dominating in the middle right now in the first part of this 5th set.
Roby and Lewis both love that 3 set. Great setter-hitter connection. It's really quick, that set, and Fleming not able to dive and press her arms into that angle, which is where Roby was going.
Roby's up to 13 kills, only 2 errors on 26 swings.
Roby with a season high 13 kills. It's a season high kind of match.
We played a lot of points in this match as we are into the 5th set, winner take all. Roby this time stopped by Worthington. Good D by Duke. Johnson tried to go high hands, missed. Point Seminoles. And it'll be Rothman rotating back to serve. 4-2 the lead. Worthington pushes it out to Johnson, and Johnson with another kill from that left pin.
Johnson with 22 kills now. She hits that ball at such a high point. Great snap on it. 1,310 career kills, which is the 7th all-time at Duke, a legendary player for the Blue Devils.
She broke into the top 10 in this match, and now she's all the way up to 7.
Wow.
Koenig answers for the Seminoles.
Koenig with that range that I always talk about with her, able to hit every single area of the court. That one deep line, really deep towards that back line with a ton of power, hitting 4-2-4. All of the outsides are hitting so efficiently this game.
Gaona in to serve. Njai is up on the front row, number 14 for Florida State. Koenig rolls it over. Keefe. The whistle blew before a double contact called against Duke, the point given to Florida State before that play could develop. Duke has been called for double contact several times in this match. That was it right there. Just didn't come out clean according to the officials on the set. And Johnson answers appropriately.
Droskovic was there down the line, but Johnson with so much power behind that ball. That's such a great area of the court to hit, just straight down the line. Not a ton of room for error. You're trying to avoid that right side block, and Johnson does a really good job at that.
Boy, what leadership shown by Johnson in this match when they were down 2-0. Service error pushes the Florida State lead to 3, 7-4. Again, we go to 15, win by 2, winner take all in this ACC early season matchup. Phelan, the top high school setters in the nation last year, serving. Got it, ace. She owns this drop serve, Madison.
She really does. Almost to the deep line, in between two serve receivers. Such a good area of the court to serve to. Florida State up by 4, 8-4 in the fifth.
In this match, that's good to watch as a viewer. Worthington back set to Keefe. Keefe is blocked, and then Koenig just cannot put it down. This Duke defense is so tenacious. Johnson out of the back row. Defense turns to offense for the Blue Devils.
The defense's job is to keep the ball alive, and then Worthington's job is to get a good set on it. And oh my goodness, Johnson is just so dynamic and strong and consistent in the back row. The back row, there's more room for error, but she's not acting like it. She takes a swing at it with as much power as she would as a front row attack.
Cadle will be serving, but there's a timeout taken by Florida State. We actually may have a challenge here.
Florida State is challenging a ruling on the floor of a dead ball.
Challenging whether the ball was dead. Chris Poole was talking with Suzanne Lowry, the replay official, after that play. Still, unfortunately, with the challenge system in volleyball, it's so new. We don't always get as much clarification as we'd like in a sport, especially like basketball, where it's just so clear. And this is one of those cases where there was a conversation going on and a challenge was made, but we never really got a signal as to what was being challenged. So we'll just have to wait and find out.
Yep, that's volleyball is such a fun sport, but there are so many different aspects to it. It is, on our part, it's sometimes really hard to tell what area, what aspect of the game they're challenging.
You can challenge the touch in or out, a net fault, an attack line fault, or a service foot fault. And that point was originally awarded to Duke after a long rally. So there's a lot of options, because the way the challenge system works, you can go back after a play to the very beginning of it. It doesn't have to be the end of the play where you're challenging something. Suzanne Lowry seems to have made her decision, and it's going to be Duke's point. So Florida State will lose a challenge. And the score is 8-5 in favor of Florida State as we go to 15, win by 2. Get the extra challenge in the fifth set. That's why Florida State still has 2. Set to Koenig. How about that block from Robinson? Koenig tries again, and this time the future Dr. Koenig finds the answer.
And it's not just that Koenig gets the kill, it's the work she puts behind it. Getting off the net and then just cranking that ball down the line. It would have been easier to swing cross court, but Koenig is putting in that extra work to transition quickly and then swing deep down the line because she knows that's an area of the court that's open.
She takes that high academic IQ and transfers it right to the volleyball court. Again, she is hoping to one day be an anesthesiologist, but there's some pro volleyball in her future as well. A star on the beach team, bioscience master's degree candidate right now. Hultquist serves. Robinson denied by Njai. Was it touched? No. Point Florida State. That attack just went out by 2. Hultquist serving. Richardson waited on it. Phelan with the set. Out to Conley, and Conley puts it down from the right side.
Phelan does not play like a freshman setter. She is so dynamic, athletic, and technically sound. That is such a hard ball to set. Jump setting, turning her body while she is in the air to get Conley the perfect set all the way to her right shoulder.
Her 24th assist. Robinson dug up by Phelan. Robinson again hits it wide. Duke was looking for a touch. They're not going to get it, and the Seminoles. She has a double-double, so both setters really contributing. 12-5, Florida State leading. We're going to 15, win by 2. Keefe attacks, and Duke sides out right away. Excellent timeout by Jolene Nagel.
It's great to be a left-handed attacker. The block isn't usually prepared for that. A lot of times you see more right-handed attackers, so it's different with the lining up. You have to read the shoulder differently and line up differently on a left-handed.
Keefe ready to serve. Rothman played that serve. Conley terminates, and the Seminoles 2 points from the win.
Conley is so deceptive. Great quick set by Kenna, way to get there, and then Conley with that quick little wrist snap, very wristy and cheeky on offense. Like I said before, having a great night with 9 kills. She's a quieter player, so you can't really tell she's had 9, but she's producing for her team.
Roby is in on the front row for Florida State in the middle, number 25. Phelan setting Roby, and Roby gets the kill right away after coming into the match. It is match point Florida State as the Seminole faithful stand. Worthington sets Johnson, blocked. Roby keeps it alive. And Robinson keeps Duke in the match. A multitude of match points remain for Florida State, but Richardson will go back to serve for Duke, and the fans stay on their feet. Conley. Worthington out to Johnson. And Johnson with the off speed saves another match point.
Johnson is so tenacious. She looked at her setter and she said, let's go after that. It's like she knows that they're still in it and she can lead her team to make up 6 points. She believes that, and you can tell on her face and by the way that she plays with all that aggression that she means that.
This Duke team has shown so much heart, battling back from that 2-set deficit to even get to the 5th set. And Florida State has just taken a timeout to try to break up a little bit of the Duke momentum here as they've won the last 2 points. Well, for Florida State, Madison, typically they have a very high percentage of siding out and winning points after timeouts when they call the timeout. So it'll be very interesting to see what Chris Poole comes up with here and whether Duke can defend it and stay in this match.
Exactly. At this point, you know what you have to do to win. You've been siding out at 60% if you're Florida State all match. If you're Chris Poole, you just tell them to calm down. You know how to win. You know how to deliver on offense. All you need is one.
Fans back up on their feet. A third match point for Florida State. It's over. Florida State survives quite a comeback from Duke. And the Seminoles are undefeated 4-0 for the first time in ACC play since 2016.